Hello, KL Cancer Fund family. I'm Jen Hoverstad, Director of Marketing and Engagement, and I'm so excited. Today, I am joined by our Celebration RunWalk co-chair, Katrina Cooke. Katrina, thanks for letting us bring you on to the live stream and into our recording studio today.
Thanks so much for having me. It's great to see you.
So, Katrina, we have interviewed you in the past and we've shared your story about being diagnosed stage 4 metastatic breast cancer de novo. So, a stage 4 diagnosis from the outset. But tell us how you are. What are the updates in your treatment?
So currently I'm doing pretty well. I have been living with this, as I've said many times on things with you guys before, for 9 years. It was 9 years this past December, which is incredible for a metastatic patient. I have done great all of those years until the summer. We had a little bit of hiccup with some bone progression, but we believe to have gotten that all under control with some revolutionary treatment that they are able to do at the hospital that I go to. So I have been able to continue on my same line of treatment. I had a great time doing an Insta story for you guys the other day where I did my 158 chemo treatment and took you guys along with me. So we're just keeping on, keeping on.
But Trina, I want to go back to one thing that you just said about the treatment that you received, like this incredible new technology. Can you talk to us a little bit more about what you did in the fall to help treat some of that bone metastasis you were talking about?
Sure. So I worked really closely with an interventional radiologist, and he actually went in and did a cryoablation, which is exactly what the name says. He literally froze the tumors to death. Is literally what happens. So they go into the inside of the bone under CT guided assistance, and they go into the bone, and they're able to biopsy from that part, and then they put a probe in there that freezes at this ridiculously low temperature, and they hold it there for a certain amount of time, and it freezes the tumor cells and causes them to explode and die. So it was amazing. It was a short recovery time. I didn't have to be put to sleep. I was awake during the whole procedure,
Wow.
and it was just incredible that that's even a possibility. And it's intended to be line preservation, so which means they want to. It's like playing whack-a-mole. So you have something come up, they whack it with the cryoablation, and then you're able to stay on your same treatment line. You don't have to change.
And talk about that just briefly, because I don't think we can emphasize the education of lines of treatment enough when it comes to stage 4 treatments. So tell us a little bit, when you're saying that you're still on your first line of treatment, what does that mean and why is it important?
So in the cancer world, that's like record breaking to be on your first line of treatment for 9 years in the metastatic setting. But what a line of treatment means is just the treatment regimen that you are on for your specific cancer. So the either oral therapy, chemotherapy, targeted therapy, immunotherapy, whatever it is that you're on. And the goal is to stay on a line of therapy for as long as possible. And then you move to another line. So there's multiple lines of treatment for metastatic disease, but eventually the lines run out. There are no more lines. And cancer is smart, and it will outsmart these lines of treatment and figure out ways around them. And when that happens, you have progression, the cancer begins to grow again, and you typically have to switch your line. So when you run out of all these lines of treatments, there's nothing left, and your cancer journey ends.
Well, so thank you for updating us. And we are just thankful that you are choosing to be a co-chair this year for the KL Cancer Fund's Celebration RunWalk event. We've recently released a video showing you accepting that via Zoom. Tell us a little bit about your past experience with the Celebration RunWalk, because this is not your first time at the event.
No, I was there last year with a whole crew of people with me. Of course, it was pre-pandemic, so we were all able to get together. And my experience, there's two things that really stand out in my experience at the Run Walk. And one is, of course, having my family and my friends and those that love me so much and support me. So just there's something powerful about that moment when you're doing something like the Run Walk as a cancer survivor, and you have your loved ones surrounding you and just lifting you up. It's something powerful, just powerful about that moment. It empowers you as a survivor, and it's so encouraging. And then secondly was just being in the presence of all the other survivors that were there and standing when Stephanie called us to the front of the room, and when she was talking and we all just stood there facing and looking out at all of the people that loved us all so much, just standing out and looking into people's eyes it's an indescribable feeling from my perspective. And my parents the same way. I mean, my mom had tears just streaming down her face, just looking at all of us. And it wasn't necessarily tears of sadness because I was up there, but it was more tears of just being so proud as a mom that that I could stand up there and that I was standing up there and that I was surviving and that I was with this great organization that was standing behind me.
We've talked about this in the past while both you and I have a breast cancer diagnosis. The fact that we can stand and link arms with women who have faced all other types of cancers, it really does pull us together because emotionally and physically, our journeys can be so similar, going through different types of treatments. So it really does make it unique that the KL Cancer Fund brings all of us together like that. Why do you feel this event is so important?
But there's several reasons that it's really important, that I believe it's really important. One is, I mean, it's a fundraiser. We're clearly raising money for, and you could say you're raising money for KL Cancer Fund, but that's not what we're raising money for. You're raising money for me. You're raising money for that next line of treatment so I don't run out. You're raising money to help people get mammograms or cancer screening that they otherwise would not be able to get. You're raising money to do all the good things that KL Cancer Fund does for women that have any woman that has a cancer. You know, it's not specific. It's one of the only organizations I know that supports all women that have had a cancer diagnosis. And it doesn't matter what your cancer diagnosis is. Once you hear those words, you have cancer, it doesn't matter what type of cancer it is. You can't take those words back. And it changes your life forever. And those few little words will change. And then another would be exactly what we just talked about, just that feeling of camaraderie and love and being in a room together. And this year is going to be different, of course, as everything is. And we're going to have a week-long celebration for their run walk, which is not something we've been able to do before. And there's going to be exciting people join us during the week. Scotty McCreery and other celebrities and staff will be on there, and former players. And I was never blessed enough to meet Coach Al, but I don't feel that way. Like I feel like I know her to my core. I feel like I know everything about her. And then you talk to her players and the love that they had and have for her is just incredible. And that shows through the whole KL Cancer Fund organization. And it's one of the reasons that I love working with you guys so much and doing things with you. And I was so honored to be asked to be co-chair. Is I've never met a group of people so genuinely passionate about what you do and truly there to help women living or surviving a cancer diagnosis. And
Yeah.
that's incredible. It definitely sets you all apart.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, we are so honored that you accepted the invitation to be co-chair this year. I am super excited to see how your team's going to do, but just so we can be watching you on the leaderboards. What's your team name?
It is my youngest son Camden named my team, and it's Katrina's MVC Fan Club.
I love it. We appreciate everything you're doing, Katrina, and really excited to see how this event will continue to unfold over the next month. But thank you so much for being one of our honorary co-chairs. We very much appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for letting me be a part, and I cannot wait to see what we do together.